The last sensitive feature that we're going to look at is our source water protection. We need to identify whether that is relevant to our site or not. Knowing that there's a municipal well on this property, due to the well records, we can assume that there is a wellhead protection zone, and so source water protection will be very likely relevant. So first thing that we can do is we can go on to our ag maps, and we can go on to our layers, and there is a layer called source water protection data. And so seeing that this is our original field, that is in fact our well. When we turn that on, we can see that that circle clearly outlines where the well is. And so we're going to see that there's vulnerability there. And although that this ag map identifies those zones, it does not clearly tell us what the vulnerability score is. So I'm going to show you the actual source water protection map. I'm going to open a new tab. I'm going to go to the source water map. I just Googled and followed the link. Accept the terms similar to the ag map. I'm going to zoom into the field here. Map legend. And there is our municipal well right there. We're going to go to water quality layers. We don't need the wellhead protection area E. We're going to need the vulnerability score checked off here. And we don't need that, the wellhead protection area. That's more general information. We want the specifics about these specific areas in our field. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to come over here to tools. We're going to identify, and we're going to click on this, and there's going to be a bunch of tabs up here that we can click on. And so you can see this red area. It highlights the area that this information here is relevant to, and it has a vulnerability score of 10, and it's very high. And so depending on what you're applying, for the case that I was in on this field, we were not able to apply biosolids in this zone, and so this was very relevant and really important for me to be able to identify this area on the map. So this being high, I had to eliminate this completely from my map and ensure that it was included. So we're going to open the map. We're going to ensure that we put a yes on our legend. Yes, it is relevant. And then we're going to have to identify where actually this area is relevant. So what I like to do is I will actually take a screenshot of these colors with it being slightly transparent, a little bit more so. I'll take a screenshot of this. And I'll come back over to my map, and I will paste this into my actual map. And then I make this also transparent. So if I right click on this format picture, I can come over here and picture transparency. I can make that even less transparent so I can just barely see it. And I can line up the road fairly well, and I actually am in luck there. That is a pretty close match as to where that is. So I'm going to leave that there, and I'm going to come back over to my drawing here. I'm going to freeform this, and I'm likely, for ease of spreading and to ensure that I don't leave any areas out, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to cut all this area out of the field. If you go back here, setbacks are an orange background with a slightly orange fill. And again, my orange fill, it's transparent so that I can still see what is underneath. And my background, or my line color, is going to be an orange, and it's going to be thick enough that it pops out. Alright, so I can see that area covers up the appropriate setback. And now the trick is going to be, this is pretty, more of a complex one, but you're going to have to figure out a way to properly mark this so that whenever you're in the field and need to set this back, you can properly identify where these lines go. And so one way of doing that would be to go to your map and to use things that don't change and include measurements on your map. So for example, the edge of the road to the tip of my setback is going to be 480 meters. So I can add a little text box similar to my slope. Oh, that was the wrong one. Nope, still not working. Here we go. I can go 480 meters. On this side here. And I can add some arrows a little bit later in order to clarify that that's from there to there. And then next, I'm just going to assume that that is a straight line. And I'm going to measure out from the road as to where that straight line is maximum. And I'm going to give a little bit extra there, so 141 meters. I'm going to do the same thing there. I'm going to duplicate that, and that's going to be 141 meters from that tip to my road. And again, I will add lines to ensure that it's properly marked. And although I put that there, I'm likely, due to the fact that that's ponding anyway and there's surface water setback, I'm going to make that go straight across. So there's no room for error. There's no way that there's going to be a tractor trying to get a little sliver. I'm just going to make it nice and simple, cut that whole area out to ensure that we're covering the proper setbacks. And so I'm going to just assume or ensure that that is 140 meters down this way as well. So with 3 measurements, and I guess we'll need a measurement from there to the road as well to ensure that I've got the tip in the right spot. That's also 141 meters. So 141 meters, you're connecting it to a point over there, 480, and that is going to give you your area that you need to set back in order to remove the source water protection area. And obviously you're going to want to label that. Grab one of these other labels. Source water protection. And there you go. You've not only identified the source water protection, but you've made it so that it is possible to map it out on the field. So these are some tricks in order to find the source water protection that's relevant to your site, and also a way to transfer that information that you find on these maps to your map that can then help you flag it out properly in the field.